Hey guys, it looked like there were maybe 2 or 3 viewers. I don't see anybody in the chat just yet. So I'm going to do a little housekeeping stuff and then I'll go ahead and get started with the actual meat of the video. So I just wanted to, I got a piece of hair that was sticking up there. I think it's still sticking up. Oh well, whatever. I'm not going to keep fooling with it. But I'm still offering things on my Etsy shop. I got my food safe resin in, or epoxy resin, whatever you want to call it. Hey Noah, this is the first time I think you've been in one of my my streams, unless you were in here under a different screen name. Unfortunately, I can't keep up with everybody's screen names. But anyway, back to my Etsy shop. I just got the epoxy resin in, the food safe epoxy resin. So I'm planning on soon to try to experiment with the pint glasses again and put some more Last Drive-In stickers on there. Long time lurker, well that's fine. You know, not everybody feels comfortable just jumping in with both feet into a chat, you know, and I understand that. I get that. I used to be like that too. Hey Dirk. But I'm hoping that this turns out better than my other experiment where I used Mod Podge to cover over the stickers, because my thing is, if people are going to be just using these as display items, then, you know, you really probably, hey Texas, you probably really wouldn't need to have any protection over the stickers. But if somebody's going to be drinking out of them, and then I'm going to suggest that they hand wash the items. I wouldn't put these in the dishwasher. just because I'm not sure what the dishwasher would do to, the glasses. I've had glasses break in our dishwasher, and I really don't want somebody to have to deal with that. And also, I'm not sure what it would do to the actual stickers, even if the stickers had some kind of protectant over them. So, the reason why I'm covering the stickers over is if somebody hand washes these, I don't want the stickers just peeling off. That would be lousy. Especially, hey, old curly jaws, especially if you paid $12 for a pint glass, which is actually what I'm charging right now. So, when I put the Mod Podge on there, I was expecting it to dry crystal clear, and unfortunately, it gives it a kind of frosted look, and I really wasn't that happy with the outcome. Uh, yeah, those tornadoes, it seems, have been ramping up again. Like, I was thinking that there were supposed to be some bad weather down that way in Texas again today. But my information could have been wrong too. Um, we've had like just high winds in general, been blowing our trash cans over and all that. So I'm thankful it's not any worse than that. Um, so anyway, I'm planning on experimenting soon to see how the food safe epoxy resin works on the glasses to see if it makes it look a little better before I actually, start getting orders for them. I don't think Steve thinks I'm going to actually get any orders for much of anything. He's like, Dana, you sold one item. I said, yeah, I realize that. But, I'm hoping like the more stuff I do, the more, viewers I'm going to get to the Etsy page or my Etsy shop. And hopefully, I'm not expecting to get rich on it. It was just, a little side hustle or whatever to make a little extra money. So, if you're interested in the Etsy shop, it is the Morbid Beauty Boutique. And so you can check that out on there. If you are unable to find it, no, Dirk. Hopefully nobody's going to turn into Deadites, including me. I don't want to turn into a Deadite either. Texas, you're going to prove him wrong. Well, bless your heart. I appreciate that. I mean, you've already, I don't think you'll mind me telling everybody in here. Texas actually sent me a picture of him in his new Deadites on Deck shirt, and I thought that was really nice of him to send the picture, because I think it, sometimes like if I get me a shirt, I can't look at the design objectively unless I look at it on somebody else. So I really appreciate Texas sending me the picture of him in the shirt, and he he actually went to IHOP with a shirt on. Didn't you say, Texas, that you thought you scared the waitress at IHOP? um, but no, you said as long as you're having fun, you'll check it out. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate anyway. Even if you don't buy something, I still appreciate people looking. Just to see if there's something that they might be interested in. Oh, John, that, like, is it looking like that where you are, or just in general? You're saying that it looks like Twister with Bill Paxton today. I bet she was like, what the fuck? You know, well, I think I told this story before, but I'll tell it again real quick. You don't. sometimes I don't realize exactly what shirt I've got on. You know, I'll put. Dirk, you say we had one about 20 miles away today. Crazy weather. Sorry, Dana. Ooh, man. That's scary. Yeah. But I'm glad you're okay, though. Um, but anyway, what I was saying is sometimes I'll put on a shirt at the beginning of the day, especially, you know, I'll wear my different horror shirts and things like that when I'm not working, when I'm not on the clock, or if I'm teleworking and nobody's going to see me and what I'm in. I generally don't worry about being business casual on my telework days. And so, like today, I've got sweatpants and a t shirt on. So, anyway, I ended up going to pick up a prescription at Kroger's. And I didn't realize that I had the Deadites on Deck shirt with my big cartoon face on there. And the guy, um, I'm not sure if he was a pharmacist or a pharmacy assistant, but he noticed my shirt and he was like, "What is that?" So I was explaining to him, and he seemed really interested. So these shirts do work. They definitely work as an advertisement for whatever live streams or whatever other kind of videos that you might be doing, or you know, if you're doing a podcast or something like that. John, you say, yeah, Tennessee down to Mississippi is bad. LOL. Hasn't hit here yet. Memphis got it bad. Um, I bet you B did like the pic of you wearing the shirt with his face on it. Um, yeah, definitely, John. Be careful. All y'all be careful, because uh, Dirk, you said you would get a hat for sure. But like if you're talking about like hats with the logos and stuff on it, unfortunately, hats are not in my wheelhouse right now because I think if I put them on my shop on T Public, it's gonna cost me extra to be able to do it. Whereas the t-shirts and stuff like that, it doesn't cost me anything really to do that. Um, no, you said you wore a t-shirt to a Judas Priest concert and they wouldn't let me in because it said "Go fucking iceberg" on it. Seriously? I mean, like I would think that a rock concert would be one of the most lenient places um, for you to wear a shirt like that. I actually have one of those "Go fucking iceberg" shirts, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to wear it in years because when I was living with my parents, my mom didn't want me to wear it, and Steve doesn't like me to wear it anywhere, and so it's like, well, what are you gonna do? But anyway, now that I've blabbed on about that, I will tell you guys how my dentist appointment went. For those of you that were in my WTF show over the weekend, is they basically told me what I feared was going to happen, that there was not enough tooth left to cement the crown back on, because basically the dentist told me it wouldn't stay, that it was going to come back off again. So I had a couple of options. One was to get a partial or get an implant. Well, I mean, Steve and I had already talked about this before, that he said that he would help me with the cost of an implant. But he was going to have to save some money. I'm going to have to save a little money. So I didn't want to be without a tooth while we were saving said money. So I said, "Is there anything I can do to like get a temporary solution so I'm not missing a tooth on this side?" Um, and they told me what they could do was put what's called a healing or temporary partial in. That would be much cheaper for me right now. Um, and then um, it's what they do with the implants. I don't know how familiar you guys are with tooth implants, but what they do with the implants is basically in stages. First, they do like a grafting process. And then they have to put the screw actually down in the bone. And the dentist said it was good that my bone was showing as really healthy, which is a good sign. So they'll be able to put that screw in there. And then basically that's covered over with a crown. And I'm guessing the screw is what holds everything in because I don't have enough tooth currently to be able to support a crown. They also told me they were going to credit me for the crown that didn't stay on, which I really, really appreciated. Um, and so that's where I am. In 2 weeks, I get my temporary healing partial. And I'm just going to move on from there. But let me tell you, if any of you guys are thinking about getting an implant at any point in time, the cost breakdown might be a little less for me when my dental insurance benefits kick back in. But right now, it's going to be for the total cost for everything will be in the $3,000 to $4,000 range. So, and that probably like blows everybody's mind when I say that. Um, but you know, when you're missing some teeth, and especially it's your back teeth that you use to chew, and I've already had at least two back teeth on the bottom removed on this side because there wasn't anything they could do with them. They were so broken up and decayed that couldn't do anything except extract them. So I've got just gum back here, and that's getting pretty sore because I've been trying to baby the other side. So I've been chewing on this side that basically at the bottom I got a lot of gum. It's making the gum pretty sore. I've been trying to eat soft foods and but I've been pretty hungry and it sometimes I want to eat pizza or I want to eat this or that and it's been difficult. Um, but Oh wow, no, you said you had to have two of your front teeth removed earlier this year. No idea when I'll be able to afford implants. Yeah. And they do tell you online when you look this up, if you live in a large metropolitan area, it's going to be a lot more expensive than if you live in a smaller area. Um, John, you say as a kid, dentist is fun sometimes. As an adult, it sucks ass. Yes, it does. Because I never, as a kid, as a preteen or I'm talking about like 13 or so. Um, I had braces put on, and they wasn't those Invisalign things and stuff. They were the metal braces, and I didn't mind that. I had to have some teeth filled before I got them. But it wasn't a big deal back then. I wore braces for about 2 years, 2.5 years. I had a really severe overbite. And, it's a shame that, my dad had good dental insurance at that time, and so they thought they would get my teeth fixed. And now at the age of 46, I'm having all these problems. And, of course, Steve tells me it's because you went for several years without making regular dentist visits. And, well, I didn't think about it. I should have, but I didn't. And now, unfortunately, I'm having to pay for a little bit of that negligence. So, I know it's not entirely something that just happened by chance. But as I said in my other video, my parents both have bad teeth. My mom took care of her teeth very, very well. She flossed and brushed and did all those things that she was supposed to do growing up. And every one of her teeth started falling out in her 30s. And I mean, they just literally just rotted out. She was eating a hamburger in a local restaurant and her front tooth just fell out. And so at that point, people didn't even talk about implants or anything. I don't even think they were a thing when my mom was in her 30s. So she ended up having the remaining teeth pulled and dentures put in. The dentures never fit right. I don't even think they were made right. And so my mom pretty much goes without her dentures most of the time. And I'm used to seeing her without them, but she really doesn't want anybody outside the immediate family seeing her. So, like, if she goes out somewhere, she'll have her teeth in. But, I can't make Steve understand that sometimes people just have bad genetics with teeth. The dentist has told me that some people have more bacteria in their mouth than others. It's just something that unfortunately happens. Steve has had like a front tooth that's chipped, and they keep like putting a filling in it, and it keeps coming out. So he can't even like that one tooth in front. He hates it, but he can't. There's nothing will stay for any length of time. Uh, yeah, teeth problems are the worst. You know, I'm thankful that I haven't had a lot of pain in my life. Um, I'm so thankful for that every day. But the worst pain I have experienced is toothache pain. And my mom always told me, because she had to deal with a lot of toothache pain when I was growing up. She said it was the worst pain. I think my mom has even said it's worse than giving birth, which you guys wouldn't know about. But, for my mom to say that having a toothache is worse than giving birth, that's a huge thing. Ben, you say, dang, I broke a tooth on a burnt onion ring. Yeah, I mean, you would not. I broke a tooth one time eating a potato chip. And I'm assuming it's because my tooth was weak. Uh, yeah, it could be worse. Could have Florence Cavello DDS. You know who I would like to have as a DDS um, is a. Oh, shoot. Golly, here I go having a freaking brain freeze. Shoot, I'll think of it here, and hopefully before I'm done with the stream. Um, John, you say you should go get George Hardy. Haha, he's a dentist now in South Alabama. Apparently a good one. Yeah, I would like to. I'm not saying I don't have a good dentist now. It's just, it seems like it's just too much about the money and not enough about the patient. And it doesn't matter how nice your dentist is, or how nice the staff is at the office. Um, when you just feel like all anybody wants is money, 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 and actually more money than they actually need, then, that just kind of turns me off. Corbin Burnson is a great DDS. Call Dr. Giggles. Okay. Yeah, I thought that name was familiar. Uh, but anyway, um, and on the job front, just so I can let you guys know, I promise I'm gonna get to my Vinegar Syndrome after unboxing, because it's not gonna be an actual unboxing because I couldn't wait, and I was working the evening shift last night, and I got the movies in, and I wasn't really feeling up to doing an unboxing on camera. Now, my order from Waxwork Records is supposed to come in on Monday, so I'm hoping to do a live unboxing of that. So you guys can look forward to that on Monday. But on the job front, I did get another call from the place where I put in the application, and Steve doesn't think they've had enough time to run the background check on me. But like I said, I don't. I mean, there shouldn't be anything that comes up from the background check. The only thing I was concerned about was because I would be working for a bank, they're doing a credit check on me. And I have had a bankruptcy in the last few years. Now, they're not really supposed to hold you accountable for bankruptcies unless you're going to be actually handling money. Being in a tech job, I would not be handling money. So I guess it's a toss up whether they're going to consider me a risk or not. I know I wouldn't steal money. You guys know I wouldn't steal money. Steve knows I wouldn't steal money. But these people don't know me. So, I kind of understand that. But anyway, I suspect that everything has went through and that my references checked out and all that. And I think they're just wanting to give me an offer now. I could be wrong, but, being as I was the final candidate for the position, and then they were going to run the background check and they asked me for references, I'm just thinking this is going to be the next step. And, I know I was really nervous Sunday when I was talking to you guys about it. I said I had a lot of anxiety about whether I would take the job if it was offered or not. Now I'm kind of leaning towards taking the job. I know it's going to be rough. It's going to be a new experience. It's going to take me some time to get used to it. But, in the end, do I want to stay where I'm at and deal with it's getting worse there. It's not getting any better. The supervisor I've got now is starting to micromanage everything. And for any of you that have had supervisors that micromanage, it's a pain in the ass. And it's driving everybody crazy. And I'm seeing an opportunity. I'm seeing that light at the end of the tunnel of a way for me to get out from under that, possibly, and move on, because I really, the more and more I've thought about it, I realize that there's not really going to be any growth opportunities for me where I'm at. They're going to keep me, in the spot I'm at. I've tried for other positions making more money within my place of employment now, and I get turned down for them all the time, or I don't even put in for them because they want somebody with a master's degree or they want somebody with a bachelor's degree, and unfortunately I don't have either one of those. So I would get knocked out of the running for those anyway. And the people that I interviewed with for this job that I'm possibly going to take, were more interested in my experience than they were how much education I had. I don't even think education came up during the interview. They just did not seem interested in that. But let's see. Ben, you say you finally got your maniac in. Post office lost my first package and was spending weeks looking. Finally, Vinegar Syndrome was like, seems like they lost it, so we will send you another one. Well, that's cool. I'm just so sorry that you had to wait so long for it. Hey, Anthony. You say new experiences and jobs are a little scary, but I think you will do a great job at the new place, Dana. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Dirk, you say that's a good thing, Ben. Should have told you deserve some free shit, maybe a subscription. There you go. Um, John, you say I feel you about leaving jobs. Left one recently after a few years and hated it, but it was time. Sometimes you got to just roll the dice. Yeah, and I think that's pretty much the position I'm in now. I did, I've done a lot of soul searching over, like, you're probably thinking, how could you do a lot of soul searching between Sunday and now? But I did. And I was like, do I really want to stay where I'm at and have to deal with all the shit that's going on? Or do I want to move on to a place where I might possibly have more growth opportunities? I'd definitely be making more money. Um, and, and possibly, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm hoping I will be more valued than where I'm at now. Because when I first came to the department I'm in at my current place of employment, I felt valued. But over the last couple of years or so, I'm beginning to feel less and less valued in my job. I don't feel like anybody that's in positions above me appreciates what I do. But oh yeah, Ben, I blame the post office for a lot of shit. Um, like they do the mail carriers around here. We used to have a really good mail carrier when I first moved to Louisville, and now, or in our neighborhood. But now it's like they don't do shit, and I don't know if it's because of the pandemic. It's like this everywhere. The restaurants can't get anybody good to work for them now. Um, and maybe perhaps it's the post office. They're just getting a lot of people that don't take any pride in what the job that they're supposed to be doing. They just slide by every day. I always try to give it, I'm not meaning to brag on myself, but I always try to give it my all when I go to work. Even if I'm feeling like shit or I'm feeling underappreciated, I still realize that there are people that depend on me to help them, you know, and a lot of them are little people just like me, and they need their passwords reset. They need help with a printer. They need help with a PC. And, most of them are very appreciative when you help them. Like, I helped a guy with a password reset today, and he was very, very happy and appreciative. Because without that little thing where we reset the password, he wouldn't even be able to log into the PC and start his day. John, you say it's too bad it's not the 80s or 90s. Otherwise, we could all start up mom and pop video rental stores. That stuff today just makes no money, sadly, if it exists anywhere. Yeah, unfortunately, John, you probably heard people talk about Wild and Woolly, especially people that live in Louisville. Wild and Woolly was like the video store for a lot of years. I'm not sure exactly how many years. Steve might be able to tell me. But this was the place that when I met Steve, even before we dated or anything like that, this was a place that Steve talked about. And when we did start dating, it's a place he actually took me to, and I was like, wow, this place is great. And Steve would usually introduce everybody to it. I think CK and Uncle Bill, yeah, they had went more than once. I mean, there's a big picture of like several of the Dead Pit Faithful, as CK likes to call them. Um, and Michael Felsher is there. Um, and there are several notable people that you guys have probably heard about as being in the group of early Dead Pit fans that were in this picture, including Steve. Um, I think they refer to it as the Last Supper picture, maybe. And they're actually in Wild and Woolly. And I believe Michael Felcher has the little card or whatever that you would bring up to the um, counter to check out the movie. And it was for Blood Diner, I do believe. I think that was the one. Um, and so that place ended up closing, what is it, a couple, 2, 3 years ago? Maybe a little bit longer. And they opened up a freaking popsicle shop. Oh boy, guys. Hold on just 1 second. I gotta see what's going on with these dogs. Sorry, guys. Like, Steve has to go to bed, like, even earlier than he used to since he started this new job. And I try to keep the dogs quiet so they don't disturb him while he's trying to sleep. Uh, but, you know, what I was talking about, Wild and Woolly, they closed it and then opened a freaking popsicle shop called Steel City Pops. Now Steel City Pops is closed, and I was like, hey, Steve, maybe the guy that owned Wild and Woolly will reopen. He said, no, Dana, he sold off all his stock. So I was just hoping that maybe since they closed that silly little Steel City Pops, that somebody would, you know, maybe want to reopen a video store. But anyway, it probably won't happen. But Texas, you want to know, have you ever had to say, have you tried turning your computer on? Not that specifically, but I I have had to tell people to, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on, which was the big thing on the show, the IT crowd, that I just, like, I busted out laughing the first time I heard that guy say that. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the IT crowd, but it's a very funny show, especially if you work in IT or even if you work in an office. I think this show will speak to you in some way, shape, or form. Uh, John, you said there's some local horror type theaters here that make good money and a drive in, but that's also hard ass work. 7 days a week and a lot of customer service to break even, I bet. Yeah, you know, I love drive ins, and the Georgetown drive in, we don't have a drive in actually in Louisville that you can go to, but uh, in Georgetown, they actually have a drive in there. And Steve and I, you know, when there's, you know, when they have special things going on, we try to go if there's movies that we want to see. And there's this older couple um, that I assume they're married. Um, and the guys call, they refer to him as Uncle Jesse, I think. But he cooks chili in his big iron kettle, and they also serve like ribeye steak sandwiches. And yeah, my computer's letting me know something I really don't care about right now. But okay. I wish it would quit telling me stuff. Sorry, guys. That just bothers me. That irritates me no end when that stuff pops up. And I've noticed that more with Windows 10 and Windows 11 than I have any other version of Windows. But anyway, they have the chili, which is really, really good. And they also have ribeye steak sandwiches, which Steve says are really very good. I usually get the chili. He gets a ribeye steak sandwich. And then, of course, you get your popcorn, stuff like that. You can't go to the movies and not get popcorn. Or I can't go to the movies and not get popcorn. Dirk, you say you just had a great idea, a movie massage parlor. I think Steve would probably go for that. Um, Texas, you say, yes, you got the reference. Okay. Um, Ben, you say, I used to do tech support for cell phones and had a customer ask how to charge a phone. It takes all kinds, doesn't it, Ben? Um, you say, we have a drive-in, but they only show family movies. Well, I mean, that's great for families, but what about the rest of us? Oh, I'm making you hungry, Noah. Sorry about that. Um, so, let's just get into it. I've blabbed for about 42 minutes. But you guys feel free to, like, keep putting stuff in the chat. But before I do that, and I mean, I'm not trying to be. There's something on my glasses. Sorry, guys. Um, Before I ask this question, I'm not trying to be like a bitch or anything. I'm just curious who this person is, and I'm sorry if like I'm the only one on the planet that doesn't know who she is. But for any of you guys that uh, watch a lot of the Dead Pit streams, which I assume a lot would be the majority of you guys in here, if not all, um, Brandon, you need to be quiet, buddy. But um, I I keep hearing the name Jamie Hart pop up, and she actually popped up and said something in the last live stream I attended that Dead Pit did for the Vinegar Syndrome Flash pre-sale, and I'm just like, who is this chick? Because they keep talking about how good she is, and that everybody ought to have her on their show. I know. I don't. I'm not sure who it was, but another guy was on. I guess the Tuesdays was Fulci show with Uncle Bill, and Jamie Hart actually commented and sent him a love bomb or whatever. And the other guy was telling Uncle Bill, you know, you ought to get her on the show. And he said, oh, it's in the works. And she's been on Pizal's stream. I can't find the stream where she was on there. Because I was just curious. So I was just wondering if any of you guys know who she is, or does she do a podcast? I mean, um, am I totally dense here or totally in the dark that I don't know who this Jamie Hart is? Um, Maybe somebody can shed some light on it. Um, John, you said the guy who owns the one here, Barry, is a lot of the is on a lot of the online forums about 35 millimeter film prints. He buys a lot of stuff, but he works all the time. Okay. Dirk, you say, yeah, what about us sickos? Um, oh, Texas, that was Phantasm Matt. Okay. And Dirk, you say she has a channel. Yeah, Texas, I do believe they said that Garrett knew her. Does anybody know what her channel is called? Because I was just curious. I just wanted to check her out because not check her out like her looks or anything. I wanted to check her channel out because I was just interested, because it seems like to me she must know a lot about horror movies, and you know, it seems sometimes that us chicks that like the horror movies are few and far between, if you know what I mean. So. John, you say, yeah, Matt is cool. He was at Fright Night too. Don't know Jamie really, but I've seen her in chats. Yeah, that's basically all I've seen her in, just like Karen there. And I was just curious. Well, you know, I really don't have a throne, Texas. I mean, I'm just always curious about, you know, especially other women that are doing live streams, and especially live streams on horror movies and all that stuff. The only thing I told Steve, and I was half kidding, was I said, Jamie Hart sent a love bomb to like Uncle Bill and the other guy, and I said, "Does she come in your live streams?" Because I said she better not be sending you any love bombs. But that's the only thing I said. You know, like I mean I'm pretty sure that Garrett is married and has a kid. But you know, and I think CK and Uncle Bill were kidding him, but they talk like um, Garrett was the one that drawed all the women in there, and then they mentioned something about Jamie in passing. Um, but I'm not getting anything started there. I don't think there's anything going on there. I just said they were kidding him about bringing the women in. Um, but I like Garrett and all, but he wasn't what brought me in. I was just curious to see what was going on in the old live stream for Dead Pit, and I just came in there that night. Um, John, you said the Dead Pit universe has almost created crazy ass, interesting characters and fans, almost like Batman when the crazy villains all start showing up. Yeah. Um, Dirky said, I just hit the like button. I'm the first one. Hell yeah. Well, thank you, Dirk. Uh, Texas, she said, Karen likes those prison women in the chat. uh, John, you say Curly Jaws on a Patreon live stream would be hilarious. I'm hoping he joins the next one. Yeah, I mean, Curly Jaws is, of course, I haven't seen him chatting back and forth in here much tonight. Um, but he is, you know, he's getting him a following, and people are like really digging what he's doing and all that. So I say more power to him. I like to see these new people getting in on all this horrific goodness, so to speak. And you probably can hear my dog Brandon whining around. I'm hoping that he will lay down in a minute here. But guys, I hate to put you on pause here for a second, but I'm going to put the Evil Dead background back up for just a second while I see what I can do for Brandon to get him to calm down a little bit. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully this is the last time during this stream. Hey, Reggie's beside me. He might jump up here. Sometimes he likes to get... Here he comes. Reggie, you want to say hello to everybody? You want to be on the live stream? This is my buddy Reggie. He's a good boy. You have to get down now. Okay. He's a big baby. He's a big old boy, but he's a big baby too. Durgy say, hell yeah, I definitely support old Curly. He's been getting some hate, but I guess there's always going to be some assholes. Oh, wow, I didn't realize he was getting some hate. That's rude. Anthony, you say Curly Jaws definitely has a good gimmick, and I think it's working for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think he's hilarious. John, you say, I was surprised I didn't see Crater at Fright Night. He lives in Kentucky too, right? Yeah, he does. He lives, not exactly in Dead Pit country, but he lives over in that area. I mean, I don't, I don't want to tell tales out of school, but I don't know if it's a money thing with Crater and Candace, why they haven't been able to go to as many conventions as they went to. I mean, I know money has been an issue with me some of the time, so I have to like pick and choose which ones I really want to go to. And Steve and I were planning on going to Horror Hound this past weekend, and then we changed our mind. We decided we'd just save a little money and stay home and go and see X instead. Oh, jeez. I forgot I left that lamp on, guys. And that messes with my green screen when I do that. There we go. That's a little better. Okay. Um, so yeah, anyway, we ended up staying at home and going to the movies, and we had a good time. And then we might next time Horror Hound has a show, I think their next show will probably be in Cincinnati, and we might try to go. Um, and then again, we might not. And I've got freaking tickets to it, that I bought way back when, and Horror Hound is still honoring them. So I need to get in on that before they say, we're not going to take those old tickets anymore. Darky say Jamie Hart's channel is Jamie Hart. Okay. For some reason, is Heart, is that how she spells her last name, or is that just how? For some reason, I was thinking it was Hart, Hart, but yeah, I'll have to check her out and see. I'm just interested in what kind of stuff she's doing. Um, John, you say I watched heavily from 2012 to 2015. Then when Dead Pit went on break, I kept hoping it would come back. I remember y'all doing your two against when it was the dead time, so I figured it wasn't totally dead. Yeah, well, I always thought, because I'm not saying Uncle Bill doesn't have a good time with the show and that he didn't have a good time in the past. I'm sure that he had some fun times doing that show over the years with Wes. Um, but I guess everybody feels like they need a break. And see, we haven't done two against. We haven't done two against shows for a long time because now me and Steve are both doing our own live streams. Sometimes I dovetail on the end of his live stream. We're doing the Eurocult stuff with Darren. Um, so, I mean, we're not out of it completely. We just haven't done a two against show for a while. And I guess Steve probably figures that we've got our plates pretty full right now. And don't. And with Dead Pit making a comeback, they probably really don't need that much extra content now that he and Aaron, and sometimes he, Aaron, and Steve, or he, Aaron, and Garrett do stuff, or whoever else wants to join in on stuff. I know Rambo Raft did. He came on one time, and um, but. But yeah, I always thought just every time I would talk to Wes, he would. It just seemed like he wanted to get back into Dead Pit. Now, he may tell you guys something different, but that was the impression that I got. John, you said, but it went through a few years of nothing where horror sucked, lol. Basically. Darky said she does deep dives and she just did a cover of Landslide. I mean, I'm not saying these guys got a thing for her or anything, but like, I know that both CK and Uncle Bill are really into music, and I'm not saying they're huge fans of the song Landslide. I mean, I like Landslide. I think it's cool, and I love Stevie Nicks and Fleetwood Mac and all that. But I think when people have shared interests, so like she could be into horror and into music and stuff like that, and that really speaks to people. And so I guess she's just her interests are resonating with a lot of different people, and that's probably why she's become so popular. Plus the fact that, if you're good at what you do, people are going to take notice. Eventually, they're going to take notice, and I mean, I know that I'm not going to ever get the amount of subscribers that some of these people have. Like, I was looking at Pizzow's number of subscribers, and it's like, I thought it was like 51,000 or 5,000 or something like that. It was some very large number. I know Dead Pit has a lot of subscribers. I mean, I know I'm never going to have anything to even come close to that, but I'm just doing it for fun. I know the other guys are doing it for fun too, but they might be doing it for other reasons too. I have no idea, but I know I'm not going to make a career out of doing live streams. Or, I knew back when I did Seductive Poison with Jenny that I was not going to make a career out of a podcast. Um, those were just fun things that I like to do. Um, and I still like doing those things. I would love to be able to do, another Seductive Poison with Jenny. Unfortunately, it seems like just life in general gets in the way sometimes, and we just haven't been able to work. We've tried a couple of times, and it just didn't work out. But who knows? Maybe it'll work out here in the future. Um, John, you say, I wish the Strand stuff existed still. I live close enough now, I would go. Yeah, I do too. I was really sad when that whole big blow up with, I think Silent Night, Deadly Night was the last straw, where basically, I don't know if it was CK and Uncle Bill that were getting the cease and desist. Maybe the Strand was getting cease and desist from, I'm guessing the producers were being assholes about that movie, because if I'm correct, Charles Sellier, the director of the film, has since passed away. So, um, and anyway, I don't think he would be an asshole about it. So I'm assuming somebody else connected with the film was put the kibosh on that whole deal. Because after that big blow up, I noticed, that things just kind of went downhill from there. No, you say there's something to be said for a small but dedicated fan base. Yeah, and I would probably rather keep a small dedicated fan base, because I get used to seeing the same. And it's not that I don't want new people, but you regulars that come in here on a regular basis, I get to know you. I get to know your likes, dislikes, whatever. And I can kind of try to structure my live streams around something that you guys would find interesting. That's why I always ask your opinion, comments, opinions, ideas for future live streams and all of that. Um, Darky say it can happen, just a lot of consistency, and it has to be a passion or people can tell it's fake and just for the wrong reasons. I agree with that as well. John, you say, no joke, I'm in a lot of groups, but none of them are as cool and fun as Dead Pit in general. Yeah, there was there's always been for me a sense of camaraderie when it came to Dead Pit. Um, it was like, it didn't take too much to get to know CK and Uncle Bill, um, and to become friendly with them, because I guess that's just the kind of personality that they have, um, that they're able to mesh well with a lot of different types of people. Um, I was like, I guess what you would refer to as marking out whenever I was able to first meet them at the first Fright Night that I went to. And of course, I met Steve, and I met a bunch of other people that were, fans of Dead Pit, and that was when they had the screening of Into the Pit. And it was just like it was so much fun that I now um, I realize how many years that has been. That was '09 when really started making that convention circuit and going to, hey, Aaron Fry, um, or your ears burning because I've been talking a lot about Dead Pit. So, but yeah, I'm back. I'm back. Uh, okay, Aaron, since you're in here, I was talking a little bit about Jamie Hart because I'm trying to figure out who she is. Like, I'm really intrigued. I am, honestly, because I keep hearing about her, and yet I don't know anything about her. So, like, the guys have been letting me know a little bit of information about her. Um, what did I say? Only good things, Aaron. Only good things. Uh, what would I have? What would I have to say bad about Dead Pit? I can't think of anything right now. Um, but no, like I said, I was just trying to figure out who this Jamie Hart is and why I've never heard of her, like just until just recently. I think the first time I heard that name was when she popped up in the live stream y'all did for the Flash pre-sale for Vinegar Syndrome, and y'all were kidding Garrett about bringing all the women in. Um, and I know that you wanted to, like, I think you wanted to do like one of the Tuesdays was Fulci with her, and I was like, wow, this chick must be pretty cool. She's been on, although I couldn't find the stream or the video that she was on with Pizzow, because Matt, I think, was on the last Tuesdays was Fulci with you, and he was mentioning her and said she was good. Said she was on Pizzow's stream not very long ago, and unfortunately I couldn't find it. Um, oh, okay, so she was on the region free and not just Pizzow's regular thing. Okay, okay, I'll have to take a look at that. But you don't know much about her, but she's on Region Free, the podcast that Pizzow does. Okay. Okay. Well, that gives me a little bit to go on. And then I know what her channel name is. So I was just curious because, like I was telling the other guys, I was like, chicks that are into horror and all this stuff, it seems like they're few and far between. So I'm always on the lookout for new people to watch or listen to. So she's a recurring guest on there. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check her out. But guys, I promise I'm gonna get to the meat of this video. I've been on here for an hour and 4 minutes and haven't even got to the Vinegar Syndrome after unboxing. Which I am going to get to now. Again, you guys feel free to keep chatting in there, and I will look at the chat as I'm going over this stuff. But I did, it wasn't really so much a sale on these, and I don't know why I felt compelled to buy these during the Flash pre-sale, because I still don't think they're sold out of these. Aaron can correct me if I'm wrong, or one of you other guys can correct me if I'm wrong, if they are sold out now. But I don't know. I was just on there. I was watching the Dead Pit live stream. I guess I got caught up in the madness, and even though I didn't spend $200, I did spend about 70 getting the two items I want to talk about. And only one of them was for me. One double feature was for me, and one double feature was for Steve. But I'm going to show you guys both of them. So I'm going to start off with the first one that I got for myself. which is Schizoid and X-Ray. And this is a 4K of this. Now, honestly, I have not watched all of both the movies in 4K yet, but what I did see, I kind of like watched the beginning of both of them, just because I wanted to see what the actual 4K presentation looked like. I was pleased at this point. I've seen better looking 4Ks, I'll be honest, but you have to take into account um, what the source material they were using is. I used to be really super picky. Like when Terror Train came out on Blu-ray at first, I tore that apart, talking about how grainy it was and stuff like that. But over time, I've mellowed and came to realize that you don't always get perfect source material, um, and so perhaps they were working from the best source material they could obtain, and this is what you're going to get. Although not perfect, I think this is the best you're ever going to see both of these movies. And I would definitely say it's worth the money. Because not only, let me slide this out of here, not only do you get Schizoid and X-Ray on two separate discs, two separate 4Ks, none of that, business where they put two movies on one disc. So you got the Schizoid disc, and then you got the X-Ray disc. X-Ray was also known under the title of Hospital Massacre. I still have a clamshell big box of X-Ray under the title Hospital Massacre, which is what I rented it under many, many moons ago. And not only do you get those two 4Ks, which you can't see, but you can see that there's another disc that goes here. And the reason why I don't have it in the case is it's still in my Blu-ray player or my 4K player. And that is where you will find all your special features. So, Noah, you've never seen either of those? Wow. Missing out, buddy. Maybe you could see if you could... I'm almost sure they still got copies of this. See if you could get this double feature from Vinegar Syndrome. Now, I will tell you, it's... What did I pay? $39? Did I pay $39 for this one? Either that or close to it. $37, $39, something like that. Just thought I'd let you know that ahead of time, though. John, you say anything with Klaus Kinski is a crazy watch. The dude was a real-life Nazi before he was an actor. Haha. I always did enjoy Klaus Kinski. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot of... Reggie, you're making noise over there. I'm going to talk a little bit about the plot of both of these movies, especially since Noah says he's never seen either one of these, and maybe that'll help him make a decision about whether he wants to buy them. I'm not going to give away the killer, of course, in either one of these because, like I said, Noah hasn't seen them, so, why would I give that away and, ruin his enjoyment if he's thinking about getting these? Or, obtaining a copy some other way. No, you say I'm a scrub. But yes, Texas, the girl who played Angel is in Schizoid. And I'm going to talk a little bit about her because it's been several years since I seen her in any special features for anything. Um, and I was a little bit shocked. Uh, and actually, you know how sometimes you forget how old somebody is, and so whenever I saw her after years of not seeing her, and the actress is Donna Wilkes, by the way. I was like, whoa, she almost looks like a different person because her hair is like, it looks blondish. It might be because it's gray or whatever, and she's got glasses on. And just, for me, it was a major change, even from, I mean, I know it's still been a lot of years, but I think the first time this came out in a double feature from Screen Factory, I want to say that was 2013. So it's been almost 10 years, so she's gonna look a little different. But if you watch this stuff, guys, be prepared that this is not the Donna Wilkes that you guys remember from the movies. So her hair and stuff doesn't look anything like it used to. So these were both of the movies were put out by Canon Films, because Steve asked me, he said, do these two movies have any themes that are related? I said, no. But I was looking at it, I said, but Canon Films did put both of them out originally. So that's probably the link. But Schizoid, which is the first movie in the first disc, so Peter Fales, I think is his name. That's Klaus Kinski's character in Schizoid. He's a renowned psychiatrist who is unable to reconcile his relationship with his teenage daughter, Allison, played by Donna Wilkes. And one of his patients, a successful advice columnist in the midst of a messy divorce, who has also started receiving threatening letters. When a black-clad, scissors-wielding killer begins murdering people in Julie's life, she begins to suspect that her unknown writer and the mysterious assailant might be one and the same. Now, we've talked about this being Giallo-esque before, in one of my other streams, or possibly maybe on, because I know that Darren Burrows, the gentleman that we do the Eurocult show with, I believe he had mentioned that Schizoid was Giallo-esque with the black glove killer and big shears or scissors being used as the weapon of choice by the killer. So there are definitely a lot of nods to Giallo films in this one. And let me tell you, Klaus gets the women in this movie. Like, so if you want to see some really, like, sleazy, I mean, maybe they aren't sleazy, but, like, for instance, one of his patients in the group is a topless dancer, or a stripper, or exotic dancer, whatever you want to call her. And you at first think she's being attacked by the killer, but it's Klaus. And he just starts, like, screwing her, like, after she's come off the stage from doing her act. It's like, what the heck? It's like, where did this come from? There's a lot of that. Plus, Mariana Hill's character of Julie, the advice columnist that's getting the threatening letters, she's also in his group. And he ends up taking her to bed. And it's like, what? Is he having sex with every woman in this group? I mean, come on. But he definitely gets the women in this film. And Klaus in real life had a real penchant for women, and I think he got a little touchy feely, a little too much with some actresses, and they didn't appreciate that over time. So, and I've heard that Klaus Kinski had a very violent temper, and a lot of people had a hard time getting along with him on the sets of many movies. Um, I don't think he had much trouble with the women. Women seem to be either um, they didn't want him to be so touchy feely, and others described him as a pretty nice guy, and they got along fine with him. Um, even some of the men said that they got along fine with Klaus Kinski. So um, I don't know if it was like a personality clash where he got in arguments with some people, but I know David Schmoller, who directed Crawlspace, he did a little short film called Please Kill Mr. Kinski. So evidently he was not a big fan of Klaus Kinski. So, you know, and, there have been other directors and even some actresses that didn't care for Klaus. But anyway, I just found it amusing that it seemed like that Klaus's character Peter Fales was having sex with just about every woman in his group therapy. It doesn't seem like that would be entirely appropriate for the psychiatrist to be having sex with all the women in the group. But um, I think it's a good little film. This film was one that the first time I had any knowledge of it, I was watching a videotape. And when the movie finished, I thought, well, I'm just going to let it run and I'll watch for any trailers and see if anything looks interesting. And they showed this trailer for a movie called Schizoid. And I was like, wow, this looks cool. I'm going to have to, hunt this one up. So I was able to obtain a VHS copy, which I watched and really enjoyed. Um, and then, the many incarnations that came after that with the Scream Factory double feature of Schizoid and X-Ray, aka Hospital Massacre. And then, of course, when this 4K came out, I was like, I gotta get that. Um, and it even says, taking strong stylistic cues from the giallo genre, director David Paulson, who actually also did Savage Weekend, is a delirious whodunit headed by cult film star, Delirious. Sorry, I think I said hilarious. Delirious whodunit headlined by cult film superstar Klaus Kinski, alongside Donna Wilkes and Mariana Hill. Mariana Hill was also on Messiah of Evil. And an early appearance from Christopher Lloyd. And this is definitely not Doc Brown, but I think you will find Christopher Lloyd's acting chops in this very good. And it's a total, it's a total 360 role from the stuff that he would do later on. This was not a comedic role. It was a very serious Christopher Lloyd role, and I thought he played it very, very well. But it also has a throbbing electronic score by Craig Huxley, and it's presented here from a stunning new 4K restoration. Okay, so some special features that they've actually got on the Blu-ray. I'm going to tell you all the special features. Some of these are related to X-Ray. Some of them are related to Schizoid. And the Blu-ray also contains both of the feature films as well. It has Shooting by March, a brand new interview with schizoid writer and director David Paulson. Hide the Scissors, a brand new interview with schizoid actress Donna Wilkes. And that's where you will see her looking much, much older than any of us remember her being. Blood in the Jacuzzi, a brand new interview with schizoid makeup artist Erica Euland. Wellesley Graduate, a brand new interview with schizoid actress Flo Lawrence. Ultraviolet Vengeance, the talent and technicians of X-Ray, which is a brand new making of documentary featuring interviews with the cast and crew of X-Ray. Now, I was really excited to watch this documentary on X-Ray because I'd never seen, anything quite like that in association with X-Ray. But the only thing I was disappointed with this documentary is they seemed to talk to more of the crew than they actually did the cast. Like, as far as I know, Barbie Benton's still around, isn't she? I don't. I mean, maybe she didn't want to talk about this movie, but they did talk to the guy who played her boyfriend in the film, and they did talk to the guy that played her ex-husband in the film. So I would have been, you know, a little more jazzed about the documentary. It's not a bad documentary. Um, but when they say the cast and the crew, I expect them to talk to more than just a couple of people that were in the cast. Um, so unfortunately, I was a little bit disappointed in that. But the documentary itself is worth a watch. A brand new making, or sorry about that, I'm reading over that again. Bad Medicine, an archival interview with X-Ray director Boaz Davidson, which is ported over from the Scream Factory release back in 2013. Okay, so X-Ray. It was also known under the title of Hospital Massacre. It has a Valentine's Day theme for those of you that are looking for another horror film to watch next Valentine's Day, or, heck, you don't have to wait till Valentine's Day. You can watch it anytime, because I'm going to be rewatching it all here shortly. So, when Susan was a little girl, she rejected the Valentine of a love-struck classmate. Decades later, she's come to the hospital for a routine medical examination, but when her x-rays seem to show something unusual, Susan finds herself trapped in a bizarre medical nightmare. Made all the worse as her vengeful childhood Valentine, disguised among the hospital staff, begins murdering everyone in his path as a means of proving his undying romantic obsession. Um, Now, the cinematography is actually done by the same guy who was the cinematographer for Slaughterhouse Rock. Uh, and Waz Davidson is an Israeli filmmaker. He also did The Last American Virgin. Um, this was his sole foray into horror cinema. X-Ray is a slasher like no other and has been freshly restored in 4K from its 35mm original camera negative, allowing its one-of-a-kind weirdness to be experienced as never before. And one-of-a-kind weirdness is definitely a good way to describe X-Ray. Because at the time that I watched this under the title of Hospital Massacre, I had never seen a film quite like this, quite designed this way. Because, like, if I went into a hospital and I saw the kind of people that were patients in there, and, like, you're not even talking about patients that would be on a psych ward. It's like all the patients in this hospital were weird. There was weird shit going on in this hospital. The doctors were weird. The nurses were weird. Everybody was weird. Like, everything seemed normal on the ground floor of this hospital, but then when you went up on the other floors, that's where things got weird. Also, me and Steve could have sworn there's supposed to be three old women that are in the same room with Barbie Benton's character when she gets admitted to the hospital because her x-rays are looking like she's got something seriously wrong with her. So there's three old ladies in the room with her. But one of the old ladies looked strangely like a man. And when I was watching the documentary on X Ray, I kept expecting them to say that one of these old women was not really an old woman, that it was a man. But they never said that. So I'm like, okay. So this was actually a woman, because they said one of the three old women actually disappeared and they had to go find her. So there was no mention of a guy playing one of the women or anything like that. So I just want to throw this out there for you guys that have seen X-Ray. Um, didn't you think that one of those three old women looked strangely like a man? Or am I just completely crazy? Therefore, that makes Steve crazy. We're both crazy because we both thought the same thing. But there's all kinds of other weird characters in this movie. The janitor's weird. Like I said, the doctors are weird. The patients are weird. There's an off-kilter slant to almost everybody in this film. Barbie Benton is probably the most normal character other than her boyfriend in this whole entire movie. Even her ex-husband is weird. I mean, it's just very, very bizarre and makes you feel like you're off kilter a little bit. But I think that's part of the fun of this movie, and part of the reason why I would recommend it. And if you're, you know, if you've never seen the movies, I would recommend like trying to find a copy first to watch, because I would not want you to buy this. Like, no, I wouldn't want you to buy this and then say, this is shitty, I don't like this, and then feel like you wasted your money. So I would say if you've never watched them before, try to obtain a copy just to watch. See if you can find it on YouTube or something like that before you make your final decision, because the price is a little on the steep side. I'll be honest. I know you say sounds worth checking out. Apparently, both movies are streaming on Paramount Plus, so I can check them out before I decide about. Perfect. Yeah, I would highly recommend that, Noah, because when the price is like, if it was $10, I would say, maybe go ahead and buy it. But being as it's $37 to $39, I say definitely check them out on Paramount Plus first. Okay, so the second one I got, I wanted to say that I saw Slaughterhouse Rock, but I'm not sure. But I don't believe I've ever seen Hard Rock Zombies. So I'm kind of looking forward to watching this with Steve and possibly re-watching Slaughterhouse Rock. But this is what I got for Steve. As you can see through the hard rock up there because that's in green, and my green screen is totally messing with that. But that's a pretty cool cover. I like that. It said they came from the grave to rock, rave, and misbehave. And then you also have Slaughterhouse Rock, which, am I wrong? Does that look like it's a vampire? I mean, not a vampire, a werewolf type movie? But like nowhere is werewolves mentioned on the synopsis for it. So Steve has not opened his yet. You can see there's still plastic on this. I think we're going to watch it this weekend. So let's talk a little bit about this release. With the explosion of heavy metal and new wave music in the mid-1980s, it was inevitable that horror filmmakers would seize the opportunity to combine these popular musical stylings with blood and mayhem. While numerous such tie-ins were produced, none were as freaked out and gore-soaked as his foot-stomping duo presented fully uncensored and newly restored in this 2-disc Blu-ray set from Vinegar Syndrome. Keep in mind, this is a Blu-ray set. This one was a little bit cheaper than my 4K set. Hard Rock Zombies. A heavy metal band has been invited to appear in a conservative small town. What they don't know is that their hosts are, in fact, a family of horrific and murderous mutants whose patriarch is none other than Hitler. It already sounds crazy right there. After being swiftly murdered, Cassie, the only nonviolent member of this depraved clan, wheels the band back to life. Soon the stuffy townspeople are faced with an unwelcome reckoning as the zombified musicians thrash and maim their way through the community in the name of grisly revenge and love. Without a doubt, one of the most original zombie films in the history of the genre, Krishna Shah's Hard Rock Zombies is a dazzling blend of horror, film, and musical. Filtered through experimental and art house cinema sensibilities, jam-packed with outrageous song and dance sequences, juxtaposed with over-the-top violence and ludicrous plot twists, Hard Rock Zombies comes to Blu-ray for the first time ever in its completely uncut composite version, sourced from the only known 35mm elements with video inserts. So keep that in mind too if you're thinking about getting this one, that it's a completely uncut, but it's a composite version with video inserts in it. Okay, Slaughterhouse Rock. That's the one that looks suspiciously like a werewolf movie, but werewolves are never mentioned in the synopsis, I don't think. So Alex, a college student, is being plagued by strange dreams in which a grotesque man commits heinous acts of torture and murder. With the help of his friends, Alex discovers that he has an unexplained telepathic link to a notorious killer who once lived on Alcatraz Island and whose bloodlust extends beyond the grave. When his supernatural experiences begin taking on real-life manifestations, Alex and his friends sneak into the abandoned prison to put an end to the reign of terror, only to unwillingly walk into a bloodbath. Dispensing with any sense of narrative logic, Dmitry Logothetis' Slaughterhouse Rock gleefully combines tracks from new wave musical sensations, Devo, with plentiful gut-busting gore and touches of humor, all set in the spooky fog-filled environs of the infamous Alcatraz prison. This thrill-filled neon nightmare hits Blu-ray for a brand new 4K restoration of its original 35mm camera negative with its off-censored gore fully restored. Okay, so you do have special features on here. The special features for Hard Rock Zombies. It's newly scanned and restored in 2K from 35mm archival elements. Never Say Die, making of documentary featuring interviews with the following actors: E.J. Curse, Sam Mann, Gino Andrews, Mick McMains, Ted Wells, Richard Vidin, and David O'Hara. Popcorn Farts and Low Budget Cheese, a featurette with special effects artist Chris Biggs and Everett Burrell. From bit player to band leader, an interview with actress Suzette Boggs. The Bible of Holy Moses, watching Hard Rock Zombies stir a fanatic's eye. An interview with author Lucy Hall. The special features for Slaughterhouse Rock. You get newly scanned and restored in 4K from its 35mm original negative. Low-key horror, an interview with cinematographer Nicholas Josef von Sternberg. The Girl That Lives, an interview with actress Tammy Haller. Wearing the Right Clothes, an interview with actor Nicholas Salazzi. Lunch Break with Claws, an interview with actor Al Fleming. And the original trailer. So, there is Hard Rock Zombies and Slaughterhouse Rock. Can't really comment on anything else, including the quality of the film. But hopefully I'll be able to talk about that after Steve and I watch it this weekend. So, I've been on here for about an hour and 35 minutes and 40-something seconds. No, you said I'd like to see Hard Rock Zombies. I have the old Slaughterhouse Rock Blu-ray, so I'm not sure if I'll pick this one up. Yeah, I don't know if... they're gonna eventually offer Hard Rock Zombies as like a separate release, or if they're gonna keep it as a double feature. Um, I mean, that's all they got right now. But that doesn't mean that Vinegar Syndrome might not offer one down the road. So you might want to, keep watch, or maybe see if you could find it somewhere else on Blu-ray, possibly, maybe, without Slaughterhouse Rock on it. I would think it would be cheaper if it didn't have both movies on there. So, like I've said, I basically went over this stuff and more. I am planning on doing a live stream on Monday to cover. I'm gonna do an actual unboxing of my Waxwork Records order, where I got 2 records and a tote bag. So you guys can look forward to that. And does anybody else have any, comments, suggestions, questions, anything you want to throw my way before I get off here for the night? Because I like starting these at about 8 o'clock now, because it seems like I have more interest in this. I can thank Wes for suggesting that I have my live streams later. But unfortunately, I have to get up early tomorrow morning, and I have to be at work by 8, which I know is not super early, but, when you got to take care of dogs and you got to get dressed, get your makeup on, have your hair fixed, and all that, it takes some time. So I do have to get up a little bit earlier and then head on to work. So I didn't want to, be on here till midnight or anything like that. But, well, you're welcome, Noah. I'm hoping that, maybe this will help you make a decision about whether you want to buy them or not. I guess ultimately the decision is yours, because just like with the movie X, I stayed away from any and all reviews. I didn't care if they were spoiler free, because I wanted to go into that movie with no preconceived notions about what the movie was supposed to be like. I just wanted to see it with my mind completely clear. And I think Steve did the same thing. And honestly, if I had seen any reviews, I don't think that I would have liked it as much as I actually did. Not seeing any reviews, or not, I didn't read anything about it. I didn't watch anybody's videos on it. I tried to stay away from it as much as I could. I didn't mind if somebody said, "Hey, it's good, you should see it," but I didn't want like a detailed plot synopsis. I mean, I knew that it was about these young people going to make an adult film in an old farmhouse and barn and stuff. Just basically, I knew what I had seen from the trailer. But that's all I wanted to know. The trailer got me interested in seeing the rest of the film. So, like I say, ultimately, it's each person's personal, I guess, choice and expectations is what helps them make the decision about whether to buy something or not buy something. I know I'm planning on getting the Girls' Night Out that's coming out soon on Blu-ray. I'm really excited about that. I'm sure I'll be talking about it when I get it in, but I think it might be May or so before that one comes out, unless I can figure out a way to get it earlier, which I don't know. Diabolic DVD might have it out a little bit earlier, as they tend to break street date a lot of times. But Again, if anybody has any questions, comments, suggestions, um, feel free to throw them my way now. I'll stay on here a couple more minutes or so to see if anybody, I can't talk. If anybody has anything else they want to bring up. And if not, I may be on the tail end of Steve's live stream on Saturday if he still does one. If he doesn't feel like doing one, it may be just me. But then I don't expect to be doing any more live streams until Monday when I do my Waxwork Records unboxing, unless there's some kind of delay and the package doesn't get here in time. But thank you, Texas. I appreciate that. In the meantime, I'm going to check out Jamie Hart and see what she's up to. I'm not planning on copying anything she does. I just, like I said, I'm curious, because there's still, even in 2022, there's still not a lot of women doing a lot of horror related stuff, whether it be podcast or live streams or whatever, what have you. So I'm always interested in seeing what some other ladies are doing. So yeah, I'll give it about another minute here in case somebody wants to say anything. I know Aaron strangely disappeared, so I don't know if he's still here or not. I think probably I get on tangents that Steve likes to laugh at me about. He said he used to laugh at me back when I did the Seductive Poison show with Jenny. I'd say I was getting off on a tangent. He said, "Yeah, Dana likes to get off on tangents," and he would make fun of me. No, you said you would love to see more women producing horror content. Well, I would too. I'm not saying this to be vulgar or anything, but I think most guys would agree that anything horror entertainment wise, podcasts and all that, it's pretty much been a sausage fest. And I don't think anybody would disagree with me there. And it's just only, in my opinion, been in the last few years that women have really started to take the reins a little bit. And I'm pleased to see this. I'm pleased that they're getting their chance, their chance to say what they feel about these movies and stuff like that. And so, the men do an excellent job of this, but it's not only men that like these movies; women like them too. I'm just waiting for more and more of the women to just jump in there and do live streams. But I'm shocked at how many people you think would not be shy in front of a camera. I mean, I used to would have been very shy. I would have never done anything like I've been doing these live streams. I would have been scared to death. But now I just get on here and it's like, having a discussion with my neighbors and friends next door. Because you guys are so welcoming, and have, kind of like Dead Pit kind of accepted me into their little circle. And I thought I would never be accepted into anybody's circle because I always felt so outside of things. Because my hometown was like, there weren't too many people that were into horror movies. So when I started branching out a little bit, that's when things really opened up for me. Texas, you want to know, is Steve watching WrestleMania this weekend? Oh, I'm sure that he'll probably, partake of some of it, and then he'll probably watch the rest of it at a later time. No, you say I can recommend Lindsay Washburn's channel. Okay, I'll have to check her out too as well. Um, like I said, I'm always on the lookout for, especially women doing these interesting things in the horror world. Um, but guys, I thank you once again for hanging out with me for almost 2 hours. And listening to me bullshit for 45 minutes before, or an hour or whatever, before I even got into the movies. You stuck it out and stuck with me. Um, I mean, I know some people stop chatting after a while, or maybe they tune out and go to other things, which is, I mean, I always say that's groovy. It doesn't bother me. Sometimes people multitask and they're watching two or three different streams, which I personally couldn't do that because I can't anymore. I can't focus on more than one thing at one time. But if you can do it, I say kudos to you. Um, so I am gonna skedaddle on out of here for the night. Have myself a little snack. I'm thinking maybe fixing me some French toast. That just sounds good for some reason. You're probably thinking, good Lord, why you want to eat that this late at night? But, some French toast with some syrup on it just sounds good right now. So, um, thank you, Noah. And, you know, stop back by anytime and chat with us. I'd love to have you back for another live stream. Um, oh, I did want to tell you guys again, for those of you that did not hear this on one of my previous live streams, that I've attempted to contact Darcy the mail girl, Joe Bob's mail girl on the last drive in, to see if she will co host a live stream with me for Deadites on Deck. And I have not heard back from her, but I think her and Joe Bob are filming some new shows for the last drive-in, and that's probably why I can't get a hold of her. So hopefully this will be forthcoming, but it might be a little bit later than I originally anticipated. So just wanted to remind you guys of that. Thank you, Texas. So I am officially going to skedaddle on out of here. I will see you guys on the flip side.